Can you repeat that?
You're saying I should have eaten it?
No.
Can you repeat that, Ben?
I'm saying.
I did not eat my wife's placenta. To which Deanna says, "Ew, you didn't eat your wife's placenta?"
No, I think it's from
People actually-
animals too.
Yeah, you can do. Yep, you can encapsulate it.
They say it's.
I've seen the cat do that.
They say it's the most nutritious
That's
thing
gross.
a human
You
being
can
can
also
ever eat.
boil it. Waste.
That's the first thing on the recording right there. You're a waste of memory. Okay, who wants to pray? Someone pray for us. Go for it.
Father, I thank you for today and for all the people here, and just ask that you would bless Ben as he teaches, help us be able to have fun, but also learn some stuff. And pray that it would sink into our hearts, that it somehow hit us on a personal level, and we'd be able to learn and be changed. Just ask that you protect us all as we go throughout our day. And we just be reminded of your love all the time.
Okay, so last Tuesday we started talking about contentment, and I think this is the marker that was,
The red works. No, the red one.
the red one was the one we used.
Red works really well. Yeah.
Red works.
Really well. Red works really well. Contentment.
Content men,
Contentment.
so men who make bad tents, men
Yeah.
who make terrible tents. Okay.
No, we just con you and combine.
Con you into buying a terrible tent.
Yeah. Kind
Who
of
sell you bad tents. Yeah. Okay, okay, so what do we remember about contentment?
It varies with age.
That's true. It varies with age. What else do we remember about contentment?
You should always be more content, or be becoming more content.
Okay, that's true. What else do we remember about contentment? What is the difference between contentment? Is there what did we learn about contentment and ambition? You weren't here, you weren't here, you weren't here,
I was here.
you were here, you were here, you weren't here.
Ambition.
So these three.
Our only-
Ambition isn't bad unless if you're
Motivated
by it to be content, I guess.
Ambition versus contentment. Okay, if we say we have to be content, then that kind of can seem like we're saying we shouldn't strive for anything. If you're, the reason where, somebody look up Ecclesiastes 4:4, I think it is. Or, yeah, Ecclesiastes 4:4.
It's funny when he misses.
Especially when it's like 90% of the time.
Yep.
Who's got Ecclesiastes 4:4? Somebody's got it.
I have to say two, but I don't. Because I don't like
And he said to
Ecclesiastes. It's right after Genesis and right before Revelation.
Oh.
Ecclesiastes 4:4.
Again, I
Okay.
saw.
Somebody started reading it.
Then I saw that all toil and all skill and work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. This also is vanity and a striving after wind.
Okay? Read that again.
Then I saw that all toil and all skill and work come from a man's envy of his neighbor. This also is vanity and a striving after wind.
Toil, work, comes from what?
Striving after your neighbor.
Striving after your neighbor? Envy of your neighbor?
Yeah, sorry.
Toil, work, comes from envy. Okay. So, does all ambition come from envy? Envy? Does all ambition come from envy? What ambition might not come from envy?
Ambition that is good for others.
Ah, okay, so the big thing is the bad ambition comes from selfishness. The good ambition comes from
Selflessness.
selflessness. Okay, so contentment. What would we say about contentment and the selfishness and selflessness? I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak. Come on. Is contentment, how do we appropriate contentment with selfishness and selflessness? Is contentment selfish?
Can't be.
Is contentment selfless?
It can be both. Because sometimes somebody could do it and not help somebody else. Or somebody could be content helping another person and not helping somebody else. Or
Okay.
not helping themselves, I mean.
Okay.
Is it like I'm better than that person, or I saved more, I shared the gospel with that many more people, so now I'm content because I did better than this other person. So it's like a false sense of contentment.
Ooh,
Like
yes. Yes, that contentment is fleeting. If it's like, okay, now I've accomplished this, therefore I'm content. Now that I have this, now I'm content. Which is the same thing as envy. Because if we go, oh, well, I didn't share the gospel as much as Pastor Kurt, I need to go share the gospel that much more, then I can be content. Nope, that's just me being envious of Kurt. Tracking? It may seem all holy and righteous, but it's not. It's actually envy. Does that make sense? Okay. Very good clarification. Okay, so how do we be ambitious and content?
Magical.
Succeeding in a unselfish ambition.
If I'm content, what is contentment not? Okay, never mind. It's not a pile of Legos. Correct, it's not a pile of Legos. Alright, contentment is,
I think there needs to be more.
one more?
No, I think we need to be more. There you go. That makes me content. There you go. Draw a little button.
No, that's a tornado.
Yeah.
Tornado. Okay. Okay, contentment, one thing we said last time was contentment is not ambivalence.
You need to find that word.
Then it's ambivalence, something like that.
Ambulance? What does that mean?
Ambivalence. Ambivalence means you don't care. Okay, so you can be like the contentment is not the same thing as I don't care.
Wait, those are two different things.
Correct. Contentment, you care. You're just content. You're. What do you mean?
And the not, what's that word that I can think of?
Ambivalence
That means like you just don't care at all, like
means you don't care.
care about, not care about people or just care about, like not care about what?
An ambivalent person is a person who should have some stinking passion about something, but they don't. They have no passion about anything. They don't give a rip. They just want to sit and play video games mindlessly and whatever. That's an ambivalent person. An ambivalent person may be content to sit there and play video games all day and not do anything productive with their life. They may be content to do that, but that doesn't mean that ambivalence is contentment. We're tracking? Contentment comes from what? Because ambivalence is that what? Where's the line here?
If they're
I
ambivalent,
feel like I'm playing Amy's giant violin.
oh gosh.
I played a cello.
It's a
Wait.
giant violin.
With ambivalence, would that mean that it is selfishness?
Yes.
Because then they're not caring. Hi, David.
Dawi.
They're not caring about others. Aww.
Oh, I was trying to get away the camera.
There's one for the blooper reel. There.
He's
This
content
game was
now.
very cold. You just came from outside.
Yeah, I was
Ben's content now.
I'm content. I was ambitious to not have myself left hanging. Okay. Ambivalence is selfish
Okay.
because you don't care about the outside world. Ambivalence is selfish. You're just doing what you want, and you don't give a rip about what anybody else. If you see one of those compassion commercials, okay, that is the ultimate antagonist to an ambivalent type. So you see a compassion commercial and you see the kids in Somalia and other third world countries and they've got the big bloated bellies and the flies landing on them, and how do you watch a commercial like that and not be moved by it? How do you watch a commercial like that and not care? An ambivalent person is just like, I don't care what's happening to them, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. That's ambivalence. That is selfishness.
Because their eyes are on themselves.
Their eyes are completely on themselves and they don't care about what anybody else does. So if we are going to have appropriate ambition, it is going to always be a selfless ambition. Okay? Okay, so workers in the vineyard. Let's look at Matthew 20. Somebody get Matthew 20.
I was reading that today.
You were?
I was.
Dude! You should read it again then,
Oh,
since
okay.
you're familiar.
Okay.
Why don't you come up here in front and read it?
I don't want to. I don't care. I don't give in to peer pressure.
Oh, you don't care? You're ambivalent
I
about
don't
it?
care what you
That's selfish of you.
So he said Matthew 20. What verse?
Why can't I find it? Where is it?
Matthew, it's right after Genesis.
Stop. No, but seriously, this is weird. I can't find it, which is.
It's in the Old Testament before
Be
Leviticus.
quiet. 20. You want the whole thing?
20 verses 1 through 18.
Okay.
1 through 16, excuse me.
That way there's not all these
16?
words I don't understand.
1 through 16, here we go.
Okay. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire men to work in his vineyard. He agreed to pay them a
day's wage.
Okay, for the day, and sent them into his vineyard. After the third hour, he went out and saw others standing in the marketplace doing nothing. He told them, You also go and work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right. So they went. He went out again about the 6th hour and the 9th hour and did the same thing. About the 11th hour, he went out and found still others standing around. He asked them, Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing? Because no one has hired us, they answered. He said to them, You also go and work in my vineyard. When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, Call the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last ones hired and going on to the first. The workers who were hired about the 11th hour came and each received a day's wages. So when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But each of them also received a day's wages. When they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. These men who were hired last worked only 1 hour, they said, and you have made them equal to us who have bore the burden of the work in the heat of the day. But he answered one of them, Friend, I am not being unfair to you. Didn't you agree to work for a day's wages? Take your pay and go. I want to give the man who was hired last the same as I gave you. Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first and the first will be last.
Dead grandparents.
What?
Not yet. That's coming soon though. Yes.
Oh, you erased it
Okay,
all.
so
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna waste it all.
I was really confused because I was gonna finish my notes and
oh,
you
okay.
erased
Well,
it.
here's some more things for you to add to your notifications.
Okay, whatever. Just go. Just go on. Just go on.
Okay, so in this story, we have a manager of workers. You've got a group of workers that come in at the beginning of the day, and they agree to do a day's work for a day's wage. Full day's work for a full day's wage, right? Then, 3 hours later, another group comes in, and they say, we want to work, and he says, okay, I'll pay you, do it. And then 6 hours later, or another 3 hours, and another group, and 9 hours, another group. They all come in, and then at the end of the day, the manager comes in, and he gives them a day's wage for everybody gets paid the exact same thing. Now originally, the full day guys were happy with the day's wage. Originally, they're like, okay, sweet, no problem. We'll do it. We're going to get paid for our work. But then, they get all huffy at the end of the day when the guys that only worked for a few hours get paid the same. Why did they get all huffy?
Selfish.
Yes.
They were like, I don't know. I worked harder and I worked longer in this hot sun, and they only worked for a little bit, so I deserve more.
Right.
Whatever. Discontentment.
Ooh.
I had a light bulb go on.
Okay. It's like this, alright? Here's a little something for you. I have children, 4 of them. 4 children. 4 niños.
I just
Dos
niños.
niños and dos niñas.
Yeah,
Señor. Okay.
sure.
I am muy guapo.
Aha.
Muy guapo.
Okay.
Alright. Christmas a few years ago. I won't say which children this took place with, in case they ever see this, but Christmas a few years ago, my children all got handed their presents. They all got gifts, and they all opened their presents, and they were all overflowing with joy. Until what?
One of them got something else.
Right. One of them got 5 presents from Grandma,
Everyone got to a full.
and the other one's got 4. And one of my children, all the joy left. And it became envy, discontentment, exploded all over the room, and whining took place, much like the guys who worked here. It's like when my children found out that the Tooth Fairy gave $10 to one of their friends. And they don't get, my children get a gift from the Tooth Fairy, but it's not $10. It's like, yeah, 5. It's a little gift. We go to the store and we buy a little trinket of some kind and stick it under there.
No, Tooth Fairy does.
The Tooth Fairy does. The Tooth Fairy does.
There's
So,
no Tooth Fairy?
my children are always very excited when they lose a tooth because Tooth Fairy is going to come and the Tooth Fairy is going to give a sweet gift there and they're all happy until they find out their friend gets $10. We need to go talk to so-and-so's mom and see how we get connected with that tooth fairy, because they have a better tooth fairy than my tooth fairy.
Who gives their kid $10?
Yeah.
I got $1.
Okay,
Very rich too.
alright. Now, I want to share with you a story. It's not really a story, well, okay, whatever. I want to share with you some words. I would like to share words with you now.
Oh,
Yes.